video, I'm going to show you how to do a two-stage window tinting on a Toyota Tundra. These are the 07s to 2021 second generation models. I'm going to show you all the tools required as well as the step-by-step on how to get this job done.
Yeah.
The first thing we're going to want to do is I'm going to push this mirror out the way just to have a little bit of clearance. We're going to clean this entire exterior glass as well as all the areas around the glass, as I do need a clean working surface, and then we'll go to the inside. I'm going to scrub with the white pad. Now I'm going to roll the window up and do the same thing. Roll the window back down, and now I'm going to just squeegee. My easy reach, make sure you capture easy reach.
Yep.
I'm going to roll the window up. Alright, we can move over to the outside. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to measure my glass. Now I want to go at least 2 inches on each side more, just to be sure I have enough. In this case, 35 inches is how much film I will need. I'm going to put a little bit of slip on my glass. I have my film here. I've cut out the exact length that I needed. I'm going to apply it to my glass, making sure that I have full coverage, meaning that the top is covered, the side is covered, the bottom, and so is this side here. I'm going to use my hard part. I'm going to lock this in place, ensuring that this no longer shifts on me. I'm going to clean up some of the extra space here so that I have a cleaner working space. The next thing I need to do is I need to be able to mark my lines. There are 3 lines I want to mark. It's going to be both sides of my film as well as the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and do that using a silver Sharpie marker. As there, it's easy to see. I'm just going to jam my finger into the side and just very gently trace my lines. Go to the other side, do the same thing. And I'm going to trace my bottom. I am now going to roll my window down, exposing about 3 inches on top. We're going to just trim off a little bit of excess film here. Okay, we're now going to do this top cut here, which is going to be the most crucial cut. This is the one that's most visible to the clients. Okay, now that we have our pattern cut out, we have all of our lines drawn out. I just got to come trace using a ruler and my razor blade. Now, how I'm going to do this is I'm going to cut at the line, but so how I'm going to do this is I'm going to put my ruler right on the line itself, but I am going to move it about 1/8 of an inch going outside the glass, not inside the glass. We're going to want a little bit extra on the left and the right so that we cover any light gap that might be visible. The goal is how do we make it seem as though there is no light gap. So I'm going to line it up with my marker line. I'm just going to walk it about 1/8 of an inch out and make it cut all the way straight through. We're just going to repeat the exact same thing for all 3 sides. Now for all corners, you're going to want to round them up. The easiest way to do this is just put your index finger up here and just trace around your index finger. This will give you a nice rounded edge. I'm going to go ahead and do that on all four sides. Alright, now that I got my pattern, I'm going to bring it back to my glass. Put a little bit of water, a little slip on the glass, and I'm just going to put this film back on just like so, leaving about a 2-inch gap at the bottom. What we're going to do now is we're going to shrink it. We want this glass to be an even shape, exactly just like the glass. Use your hard card and do a horseshoe, trapping all the air to the inside. From here, I'm just going to get rid of any moisture and air inside. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to shrink any finger that might appear. If I don't see any fingers, I'm going to create the fingers just to ensure we have a tight fit. We're now going to use our heat gun. We're going to turn it up all the way to high, and we're going to use it at level 2, which is its highest function. And we're going to go and shrink any finger that may appear. Now in this case, on the second generation Tundra, we don't have too many fingers, meaning that the glass is pretty flat, but we're going to lift this up and do a snap shrink, meaning we're going to shrink it a second time, essentially creating our own fingers so that we have a tight fit. Okay, so now we're ready to install. Let's go to the inside. I'm going to redress my film and just bring it down a little bit. And now we're going to go to the inside and we're going to prep and install. The first thing I'm going to do is I am going to clean the inside of this glass. It's been a little bit since we were working on the inside, so I need to clean this again. Just making sure that it is nice and clean. When installing, I'm going to want to apply plenty of slip just to make sure I have no dry areas. And I'm going to do a couple hits to flush out my sides. Now let's go back to the front and get this foam to the inside. I'm going to go ahead and open up my liner and pull it down about 80% of the way down. Just like so. And I'm going to get plenty of slip on this side as well. I'm going to now carry this to the inside. I'm going to use my right hand to grab the edge of the foam, and I'm going to grab as far as I can. And we're going to just pull this away from the car and bring it to the inside. Now I'm going to start with the long side of my window, and I'm not going to shove it in there quite yet, but I am going to try to get as close as I can. Now I can just run my finger and get the rest of this film to kind of stick to the glass so it doesn't fall away from me. And from here, we're just going to go ahead and slip this film in place. Now we are going to have a side that sticks out a little bit, and what we have to do is just roll that in just like so. Now you're going to go ahead and just line the top of your film, making sure that you have an even gap across the entire glass. We're now going to use our soft blade and just remove some of the water so that we have a better visual on our install. Now this is the time that if you need to make an adjustment, you probably still can. I like the way it looks, so I'm now going to take out my Blue Max, and I'm going to lock this in using a lot more pressure to extract a lot more water. Now if you keep in mind, I am also going to keep a hand on this film so it doesn't shift on me. I am applying a lot more pressure. One thing, when you are squeegeeing like this, you do want to overlap 50-50 your strokes so you do not miss any moisture and leave any of that behind. I've pushed that water to the sides. I'm not going to use my easy reach card just to squeegee the sides. Now that we've installed the first stage of this two-stage, we're now going to roll the window all the way up. I'm going to use my slip and I'm going to just open this up a little bit, keeping hold of my liner. I also want to put my elbow in the glass to ensure that this does not roll past into this dry area, which I've already tinted. So I'm going to just go ahead and hold the liner. And I'm going to use a lot of slip here. I'm doing two things. One, I'm going to put some slip so that I can install. Two, I'm using the water's gravity to kind of flush out that window, which was just sitting behind the gasket. We're going to gently pull our liner away. And without letting this tint grab, and without letting this tint touch the door card, we're actually going to get a hold of it. From here, it's just about tucking in the second part of this glass, okay? So we're going to start with this far side over here, and we're just going to roll it in. We're going to get our film down here in this bottom corner past the gasket on the other side, and just kind of push it in place. And we're going to do the same thing on this side as well. So the way you get this corner to turn for you without creasing it is you actually want to use this hand in the center and pull away from it as well as down. This will pull the tension to the left, which allows me to kind of get this corner in here in place and get it underneath the gasket. I'm now going to push that in place. Now all we have to do is now tuck the bottom here. The way you do this is, if you can see here, there's kind of a finger here that wants to form. You need to create a finger here by just gently doing so, and this gets the bottom of it pretty much ready to tuck in. We're now going to go to my easy reach card, and I'm just going to gently put this in here and just open up that gasket gently. And as I do that, I'm also using my other hand to gently slide that film in place. Now I'm going to visually inspect. Is my film inside my gasket in all areas? It is on the left side, it is behind the gasket on this side, and it is on the inside the gasket on the right. That means that my film is now good to go. All I have to do is just squeegee. I'm going to start once again with my light squeegee just to get all that water dressed out so I can just see what I've got. As you can see, there's a lot of water that gets stuck on this side. That's where we come in with the easy reach. Get that squeegee down. And I'm going to go ahead and do that one more time. Now using my Blue Max. Now this time I am going to use a lot more pressure. Once again, use my easy reach. We're going to go ahead and wipe this door card, wipe the glass. Now I can go ahead and just inspect for any contamination. And if I like it, that is how we do a two-stage window. Okay, so now we'll do the other side and do